You are welcome to Hope Channel Kenya Light in the family. Welcome to the program, The Identity. I'll be your host, Samuel Mangi.
And I am the co-host, Masi Charonato. I hope you enjoyed the show last week. Well, today we have on set the infamous, always present, ever smiling, Eston. Karibu sana, I love your shirt.
Thank you very much and thank you for having me.
Yes, and we have another lady, at least today there are ladies on the set. I hope you've noticed. We have Purity. Purity, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Now, today we will be discussing about relationships. Specifically, we'll be looking at family, society, and authority. I'm inclined to first ask, before tuende mbali sana, what is a relationship, Purity?
Okay, a relationship is basically how people commune with each other, like how they associate with each other. It can be in different perspective, but that's how a relationship is.
Okay, Eston.
Yes. Basically, Purity has said it all. Relationship is basically how you associate with other people, how you interact with them. Yep. It can be like the way you communicate. It can be the way you do things together with other people. So basically, that's what a relationship is.
As you look for that dictionary man, Mercy, are you of any contrary opinion or are you also on the same page?
Well, a relationship is basically...
Before you go, we missed you last week. We missed you a lot.
I am
Welcome.
humble, but my persona does not befit the mood of last week. Last week was just a jovial show, but now some of us are born for more somber, like relationship. Yes. Yes. So basically, relationships are associations. Associations between two parties or more parties. Like you can have a relationship with God. That is an association. And it might not really be a physical association. Like Eston mentioned about communication. It might be because of communication. It might be because of fellowship. It might be because of friendship. And finally, it might be because of romance. That's, I think, when you talk about relationship, that's what comes to mind. Yes,
Yeah, that's
but
what
a
makes it
relationship might be through communication. So you might have a work relationship, we exchange work emails. You might have a friendship relationship, like maybe I have a relationship with Eston and Purity because they are my friends. I might also have a relationship with people I go to church together with because of the fellowship that comes about. And finally, I might have a relationship with my special friend because of romantic attachment. So,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Eston,
Yes.
what's in dictionary? Take us through.
Well, basically, the dictionary gives the same word that you have mentioned. It is a connection or an association, the condition of being related. Yeah. Then it also says it can be romantic, and it can be also because of kinship. How we connect with members of the family, for example, like those are basically our kin. So it is basically our connection with people. Yeah.
So now, when we started the show, we were talking about the identity, and we
Yeah.
were able to categorically identify ourselves as an individual. But then now, when we bring other people on board, that's relating to other people, we need first to identify who we are, and I think we are all youth. I'm drove to ask, who is a youth, or who are we as youth? Purity, who is a youth?
I think a youth is, first of all, someone who's young. Of course, you can't be old and call yourself a youth. But most old people say, I'm young at heart. I don't know how. Yes, it's a subject in itself. But being a youth, I think you have energy. You're energetic, and that's the time that you're really trying to figure out about your life. You've not reached. Yes.
The epitome. Okay.
No, but you find people at 60 saying they're youth.
They're youthful.
Our president is a youth.
Yes, they say that, but I think according to SDA, we know the youth ends at about 35. Yeah, that's the.
No, I think people mistake the fact that you're supposed, once you get married, you're no longer a youth. I think that's
So
a very.
if I marry at 25, I'm not.
Yeah,
That's
Ramze.
now a problem.
Yeah,
You
Ramze.
see, because she said Once I get to 35, that by that age you would expect wameolewa, hata wale wenye wako wamepata, wameamua tu kusettle, you know. So people close you off the age bracket. At 35, they've closed the gate for you. You're no longer a youth, no entry, no exit. Now, if I get married at 19,
unakuwa mama.
I get nakuwa mama. But you see, we also need to reevaluate, because I know women ministry starts from age 0 to age 102. Yes. 102. You belong to AMO. You belong to AMO. It is not, there's a mentality that it is for people who are married and stuff. No. A youth is basically someone who's between the age of 0 to the age of 35, as she's put it.
Yes.
But it is not to be defined by marital status. It is not to be defined by social status. It is, you see, like politicians, social status should not define the fact that you're a youth.
Exactly.
Maybe your physical appearance. If I start growing, maybe, you know, if you see someone with white hair and you're like, hey,
this is not a youth.
this is not a youth, this is a mzee. So your physical appearance can show. Your maturity can also dictate whether you're a youth or not. Yes.
I want to agree with you partially, and say being youthful is subject, but I think the law states that it's
between 18, I think it was
35 is the case.
But then I don't want to be the jury to say ukiwa 30 when you say I don't want to be the jury, but let's go with the safe lens of what the law stipulates, and what will come up with
well, this is my take, considering I did not give like my own duration, but this is what I believe a youth is. A youth is a person who is fixed within the prime of his or her life. You can be a youth while you're 45, as in that's the time that you are able to like achieve your goals, set standards, and like plan your life. You might be a youth while you are 15. You might be a youth while you are 30. I don't really think that, well, it reaches a point where you start going to your sunset years. The sunset years are probably from 60 going ahead, according to me. But you can be very youthful while you're young. You're not a youth, but you're very youthful. As long as you have energy to do something and the capacity to like see it through, I believe to me you must be a youth.
I know very many people start telling me, Sami, life begins at 40. Subject to very many understanding. And let us not dwell so much about the age and all that. Now that we have established who the youth are, then I think it's rightful to now place us in the family. Now, now that we have known that this is who we are, we'll of course start connecting, relating. And the first point we relate to is our family. What is our place in the family?
Okay. So, I think when it comes to family, we have different stages. You know, when you're developing as a youth, you have when you're a child, you develop to a teenager, then you become a youth. But these are different stages. But in terms of relationship, it starts from the time you're born with your parents and the family members who are in that family. So as a youth, depending on how you've been raised and the relationship that you've been having, sometimes it can play a role in how you relate with the family sector. So as a youth, where we are placed right now, of course there are so many misconceptions that the youth are against their parents. They don't want to listen. They think they've reached to a place that they're independent. But I think we add value to the family. We add value.
Well, I think that every individual, well, I don't really think, but I know every individual on this planet is related to someone. You can be having a brother, you can be having a mother, you can be having an uncle, you can be having an aunt, a cousin. All of us are related in some sort of way. So all of us belong to a particular family. They might be deceased or they might be alive at the same time, but all of us are related, and therefore we have a belonging. We already belong to a family by the fact that we are alive. Now once we acknowledge that, now we start considering the roles and the responsibilities and even the rights that we have within these particular families. For the youth, and I always say this, I always see this actually happening. My grandmother will come and look at my dad. You know, when I look at my dad, I see that he's a very aged, a very wisely aged person, and aging gracefully. And when I come and see my grandmother comes and sees my father as a child. Yule mtoto, no. As in, depending on the level that you are in, people tend to look at you differently. So for us as youth, we need to understand that there are specific roles, specific tasks that we have been given within the families that we have. Whether you are a father to someone, whether you are a child, whether you are a sister, whether you are a brother, there are specific mandates that you're supposed to be doing, and one of them is to be able to be there for, to be a keeper of your fellow brothers and sisters. I think that is one of the most misused quotations from scripture. Am I my brother's keeper? But we see even from scripture the first time that we see interaction between the youth within a biblical family was when God was asking Cain where his brother was. So we see that already the first role that we have been given as the youth within the family is to take care of our siblings, take care of the people who form our family setup. Yeah.
Marcy.
Well, youth tend to be misused when you put it like that.
Okay. How
Now, the fact that I'm a child, not really a child, I'm a youth in that family. We've talked about brother's keeper. I know of a friend and the mother spaced them in such a way that she'll pay school fees for her younger brother. The younger brother will pay school fees for the other younger brother. So the parent has removed themselves, has extracted themselves from responsibilities because as a youth you're your brother's keeper.
Well, we need to get it the right way. We are saying that the youth have a responsibility.
Yes.
Let's not forget that even the parents themselves also have a responsibility within the family. The parents are there to provide for those people who are their children, and even scripture itself says that it would be bad, it would be easier, not really easier, it would be better for you to tie a milestone upon your neck and throw yourself than to let any of these small ones to fall, and that is actually a very stern warning to the parents. So we need to understand that the parents have a role, and their God-given role is to take care of these children, but they also have a responsibility. They're not just supposed to be there that because the parents are doing this work that they sit back and relax and let everything fall into place.
Let me pull it to a statement that I got it from somebody very close to my heart. My mom. I had her sharing with a friend, alafu akaniambia about spacing of the kids. Sometimes it's not their doing, it's God's doing. Sometimes unapata parent amekaa for some time.
Sometimes. There's that word sometimes. Yes.
So, let's not be the jury of mzazi for 5 years or 7 years. Let's leave it up to the Almighty. Now that you've settled on that score, we have already known where our place is in our family. But then we youths normally tunachukulia tu vifani tu sana. As in kuna challenges tuko nazo. Most of the youth I know, me being included, at a point in life we rebelled. There's some challenges that we face in relating to our parents. Now, what are some of the challenges that we do face as we relate to our family before we get to the society and even the authority?
Okay, some of the challenges I think most youth feel it's about our parents being too judgmental. Like, for example, I cannot open up to my parent in these certain issues because they overthink. For example, I cannot go and tell my mom, for example, they expect, maybe I'm in university, you're not supposed to do 1, 2, or 3. You can state them. What are some of the things your parents have told you? No, I know, but these are things that we have to air it out for people to know. I can't be comfortable to go, for example, and talk with my mom the issues that I'm going through. For example, if it's sex matters, or if it's relationship matters in a deeper way.
Why is what is that challenge?
Because the challenge is you were brought up with do not.
Well,
But they haven't given you a chance of saying, like, if this happened, what? Like what?
if?
That is a really nice
Yes.
perspective. But now today we're talking about relationships,
Yes.
how we should relate. Personally, for me, I can thank God that I can talk to my mother about anything. I can tell her, hey, there's this guy. Or I can tell her, boy, there's this exam. You know, I can just open to her about anything. Now, what should be our relationship with our parents? What you know, what you've said is really nice. You've talked about what is there. Like, you come ati kijana. Siku hizi umeanza kutembea na vijana. Siku hizi that is what we are.
but-
And she's
but it's
given
supposed
the
to be heading to the
reality.
ideal.
But now we should be talking about how do we as youth want our parents to relate with us? Because yes, it's good by there to point out eti now you say I got this kabiashara kibarua nini umepata sponsor, you know those kind of things. Or you start as in this the what is happening, but how do we as youth expect our parents to treat us? I think
I think this is the issue that is happening. You know, us as youth, we are suspect of our parents. We assume that our parents are going to have some very specific judgments if we go and tell them some of these things. And even our parents, even our parents at the same time, they also feel like we are not opening up to them. So you know, everyone becomes suspect of each other group.
Surely, I've lived with my parents for the past 20 something years.
Personally,
I know how she is and how she reacts to some subjects.
Yeah.
What she'll enjoy be subject.
Personally,
Also
let me speak from my own experience. I am very open with my mother. My mother knows everything. If I'm dating someone, she'll be knowing it. If I have done something wrong, she'll be knowing it. And I'm very open, and she's always very ready to give me counsel, whether it's on sex, whether it is on issues concerning social matters, whether it's on issues concerning economic matters. Also, my father, I'm also very open with him, though we tend to incline more towards
Economic matters.
Economic matters.
Academic matters.
Shamba, we talk about mashamba na masomo. Exactly, those are the things that I talk about with my dad. But you find that at the end of the day, once you become open with them, they will have a level of trust. They will know that there are certain boundaries that we're not going to be crossing. So they won't have this idea that Eston, for example, if Eston comes late to the house, Eston probably was with some lady somewhere. They will know that probably most likely I was doing something which was productive, and once we open up to them, it's always about us being the initiators of these things. Once you open up to them, they eventually will open up to us. It might take some time, especially if they have these stereotypical ideas, but it may take some time, but eventually they come and open up and they start sharing these things with us.
I think you mentioned a very important aspect, trust. For any relationship, whatever type of relationship, even a work relationship, to push forth, it needs trust.
It needs to have a lot of trust.
Trust is the building block of any relationship.
Yeah.
Even with our parents, if we cannot be trusted, the Bible says he who is faithful in much will be in
Little shall be faithful in much.
Yes. So our parents expect trust from us. That's why you find them not being so sure about what you're doing, because you've not developed trust. And once you've developed trust with your parents, then you can open up to them. And they can trust you maybe when you say, by then, Mom, I want to move out. You know, there's also that kind of thing. They expect us. So, because you've not built trust, like for gentlemen, what are you going to do out there? You know.
I'm glad that we have seen that there's a challenge, and we have seen there's how you can approach it. But I'm meant to think: is it my business to go and reach out to my mom, or is it my mom's business? Is it our parents' business to reach out, or is it our business to reach out to them so that you can have that level of trust and understanding?
Well, I think that just as I said in the beginning, we all need to understand our responsibilities and our roles within the family. We cannot expect someone else to come and initiate a conversation or initiate some communication if we ourselves don't do that. And you find that the more you wait for this person, the more you'll start becoming suspicious of why they're not coming. It even happens when people are dating. You expect that, for example, if I have a girlfriend and I have this idea that probably let's say that I took her out and I see that she's not texting me back. I say that I want to be the first person to text. I will wait for her to text, and at the same time she's also thinking the same thing. So you find that people start becoming suspect about each other. So we need to understand that whether it is coming from the parents or it is coming from the youth, we need to ensure that we achieve level communication and free, transparent and open communication with each other.
Purity,
Yeah.
what do you think? Is it my business or is it their business?
I think it's both way, but I'll state the things that will make relationships work either way. First of all is accountability. You have to be accountable. Accountable in terms of communication and time. Your time. For example, if I go out, I tell my mom, I've gone to this place 1, 2, I will be coming late. And if I'm late, I'll tell her I'll be late because of this. She will trust me because I've told her. But the irresponsible nature of the youths, most of them, they live their own life. They don't want to keep in touch with their parents. They're not accountable of their time. They don't even follow up even with their own parents. And that's why it brings problem.
Accountability is
Yes, accountability is key. And the second thing, of course, she said trust. And also, we should also think on, in terms of trust, you need to create, trust is earned. It's not like it just comes. Accountability will bring trust. There are so many things, key areas that will gear towards trusting. And also, you should be close. Like, I should always, for example, as a youth, I should always try to be concerned. Yes.
You know, umesema kitu I want to bring Eston in. Umesema, okay, I agree with you, accountability and everything. But then look at it, I cannot, there's a too much of everything.
Yeah,
like I
know.
feel like, hey, I want to go out with my girlfriend for the next, kwanza Wednesday mpaka saa po. You know? And Wednesday, nimeanza mom, yes, Wednesday naenda, okay, sawa. Tuesday the same. Now Wednesday nianze, and it will be like a regular thing. So, sometimes it gets to a point I'm like, hey, I'm burdening my parent with too much information. I think I'm old enough to hold this thing to myself, so that acha tu nifanye alafu nitamwambia tu after all, si atajua.
I have a friend, and this friend is like, every time anatoka naenda wapi, like, I'm old enough to make my own decisions.
Yes. So I'm asking you, what does accountability
unaenda wapi? Every time I just go, maybe I'm going to the veranda to kuota jua. Unatoka unaenda wapi? Sometimes I think youth feel pressured, ni kama unastokiwa, and people don't really like being stalked. I think and it's not like I'm keeping a secret. I just want at times to be free to make my own decisions.
Eston,
Yes.
what do you think? Youths are there. We don't want all that accountability. What do you think? Quickly, in a minute.
Purity mentioned about accountability, and I believe that even as we are practicing accountability, we should also look at tact. You should not just that because you're supposed to be open with the parents, you go and tell them everything, and it's like it's like they become your logbook. You give them everything with a stepwise time. You log in.
Out.
Exactly. Exactly. What you're supposed to be sharing, this is my own perspective, but someone might correct me. What you're supposed to be sharing is those things that you think are significant and would require their input or their advice on those particular things. And in case you think that something might be of essence that they need to be knowing, you tell them. But for things which are insignificant, for example, you are going to the shop, unless you know that probably they might call you while you are away, you can just inform them that I'm just going to the shop.
In my family,
Please take us to the toilet.
in my family, we have one rule: you do not leave the house without saying where you're going. And it's not because
Hata kama nikufungua gate.
you just say where you are and don't lie about it, because as youth sometimes we tend to lie, and then maybe the camera catches you in town and you're saying naenda kwa kina Eston, and then the camera catches you in town and Simasi alisema ameenda kwa kina Eston, Anyway, dear viewer, we will get back to this discussion right after the break. just have a look at our talent for today.
Nearer, my God, to thee, nearer to thee, e'en though it be a cross that raiseth me. There let the way of thee steps unto heaven. Oh, let the sands be in mercy. Excelsior, 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 excelsior. My song shall be nearer, my God, to thee, nearer, my God, to thee, nearer to thee. Though like the wanderer, the sun gone down, darkness beyond me, my rest alone. Excelsior, excelsior, excelsior. Angels to beckon me, nearer, my God, to thee, nearer, my God, to thee, nearer to thee. Excelsior, 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 for we leave in the sky, sun, moon, and stars for God. Genus Domine Augusta per Augusta, Sigitura nostra excelsior.
Thank you very much. I do hope that you've been blessed with that segment. Now, there's a friend of mine I interacted with today in the morning and gave me a Swahili proverb that says, mtoto ni wako akiwa tumboni, lakini atakapokuja kwa jamii si wako ni wajirani. We'll be looking at that discussion a few minutes, but before we get on there, there's a thought that Eston you had brought up. Yes. And Mercy was in a way opposing to that. Will you please take us through again?
We need to be accountable for everything, yeah? Mm-hmm. But accountability should also work with tact, whereby you just don't go and share everything, including your receipt book, and go and say that this is what I did today, these are the receipts, you can log them in. Basically, you share what is important, what you feel is very important, and what you think would be significant if your parents knew. That can be like a highlight of what you just did that day. it can be where you went to without giving the actual details of what you are doing. And I think with that, it would actually be a very open relationship, but also it will also give you the privacy of being an individual at the same time.
I don't know how that goes to privacy and being accountable. I don't know how. Mercy, what is your sentiments?
Well, I get it, Aston. Aston is saying, say what you're doing without saying everything, without
Exactly.
saying it. Say without saying it.
Ni kama unapatia mzazi flyers.
Yes. No, really. He's talked about tact. He talked about tact as well, yeah? He said, I don't have to come and say, hey, ma'am, leo nenda helipad ninapeleka msichana mwingine hapo. I'm planning on spending 700 shillings on her. No, you just say, ma'am, I am going to meet a friend of mine in town. I'll probably be back at around 5. End of story. Now if you start mentioning, kuna msichana mwingine hapo tuliagree naye tunakutana saa 3 ananingoja town. You know, like me now. Okay, for gentlemen it's not really a big deal, but now for me you can imagine. Now I'm starting to say there's this gentleman and he's been asking me to meet him at helipad. I just say I'm going to town, I have a meeting in town with a friend. You know, tact. As you're not lying, yes, but you're just making unnecessary information.
Unnecessary information.
Yes, because you see, if I start giving details that I think I'll need 500 because the cup of coffee I know I'll take is 380 shillings. So your parents will be like, you're wasting money. Or you say maybe I am going, me and my friends, maybe girls, we're going to have a cooking, what. We're going there to cook and learn how to fry meat. Your parents are like, nyama. Nyama tumekataa nyama. You know, so you don't really mention everything that you'll be doing that
unless they ask. Unless they ask.
Sawa. There are parents there who are very inquisitive to the smallest details. What we'll ask is that for our viewer, be tactful, as we just said. Be tactful, be accountable, so that you earn the trust.
And then apart from that, don't look suspicious.
Exactly.
One thing
how do you look suspicious?
No, there's always a way you can be asked something, and when you come out defensive,
you're being shifty, and
you become defensive about it. Unaniuliza maswali. You know, there's a way you react that will tell your parents if it's really something genuine you're doing, then you should. Why are you behaving that way?
More like no. Let's just be.
Yeah, I was told. I learned this from high school. I think it's one of the greatest lessons. If not the only lesson, I garnered. Even if you're doing something wrong, do it confidently. Yes,
For which means not encouraging
my
people to do
class
things
teacher.
wrong.
No, my class teacher said that. But the point in case, what I'm trying to bring out, the principle is, if you're doing something, do it confidently. If you know that I'm going to meet Eston, and my parents are like, Eston, and he's just a friend, maybe we're going to talk about the school stuff. He's an engineer, I want to learn about engineering stuff. My parents won't interpret it as such. Parents, not my parents, parents. When they see young people associating, especially the youth, they start thinking in the terms of entanglement.
So thank you very much. I think you've dealt much on it, and it will be safe to say, viewers, please pick what you need. You're not teaching people on how to lie. You're just telling you, be truthful in all your ways. As long as your conscience resonates to everything that you do is correct, go forth for it. Now, we have learned how to relate to our family. Now, tumetoka kutoka kwa nyumba, tumetoka kwa gate, na kuna watu wengi sana. And families, I have met very many people wanasema, mimi, especially attention kwa plot, mimi au majirani, guy. Afadhali nilikuwa nakaa kwangu nikitoka niende nikiwa nimeendanga. Now, I don't know, beauty. How do we relate with our society in a respectful way and still get to be who we are?
Yeah, I think the first thing that we really need to understand is that we are from different cultures. And that the value system that we have are they are contributed to so many factors. We have, of course, the world itself. We have our religion. We have the different tribes that we come in. But when you go outside there, the society, we are one. So when it comes on relating to other people, we have to accommodate other people's values. But at the same time, there are values that are standard. It's like the rules of the world. Like God's commandments, actually, when you follow God's commandment, it's just the same to the rules of the world. Like if I do good to you, you'll do good to me. If I respect you, you will respect me. Those are some of the guidelines we have. But we really need to also understand the values. We really need to understand that we are from different backgrounds. We really need to understand that we are also from different religions. And how do we bring all of them to merge so that we earn that respect? Yeah.
Esther,
Yeah.
kuna ule jirani mwenye unajuanga hiyo ndio analetenga ile mamako ripoti mbaya. How do you relate to that person though?
You know, I've had this experiences. I don't know why it happens. I'm sure probably some of us have had the same experience. Those people that you just see and unachoka tu, as in unachoka tu. As in, they've not done anything to you, but as you just get tired. Yeah. So we need to understand that we're in the boiling pot which is called earth. And in this boiling pot, there are so many ingredients. The people who add flavor to our world are people who are different from the way we think, from the way we interact, from the way we behave, how we've been cultured. And once we understand that, it actually helps us to appreciate these people who are outside there. And you know, for us to be able to like respect these people, we need to appreciate them. Because if you don't appreciate your neighbor, you won't feel like you have a necessity or a need to be able to like respect this person. Ukimwona unasema tu this person is not going to help me in anything. That this person does not add value to my life. Let me not even interact with them. And you find that at the end of the day, this person who you feel like you are better off as strangers or acquaintances too, might be the person that person who can be able to help you in the end. For example, let's say that you're having an emergency, you won't be able to go and call that family member who is somewhere 500 kilometers away, probably in the upcountry regions. You will need this person who's living next to you. So number one, we need to acknowledge these people. After acknowledging them, we appreciate the roles that they play in our lives, whether it's just in passing, where you just pass someone and you greet them, but it's also very good to interact with these people. Just know how they're doing, because you know at the end of the day, you'll come to realize that these people can help you to become a better person. And these people, for example, let's say
watu wanakuja kuleta ripoti mbaya.
Hata wanakuja kuleta ripoti mbaya, and
hata kama wanafanya kitu nzuri.
Hata as in the reason why they're bringing bad reports, most of the time you'll find that you've not been interacting with them, so they're always suspicious. They always feel like akikuona unapita hivyo na msichana anajua ati huyu akona manini mbaya, akona agenda yenye si nzuri. But you find that if you're able to interact with these people will come and know that you don't have any wrong intention, any ill intentions towards anyone. When they see you walking with a lady or see a lady walking with a gentleman, they will just know that probably they were just having a normal interaction. Yeah. So just open up to people, interact with these people.
Well, I just have 3 quick thoughts, yeah? One is you do unto others as you'd like them to do unto you.
Yeah.
I think many of the things that block relationships with us, with society as youth, is mentality. We think that if I smile at Aston, he'll think I'm weird. He won't smile back. But you see, Aston is starting to smile. Because we have a perception that, hawa watu hawanipendi, hawa watu si wazuri. But once we remove that mentality and know that people are good, when we do to them, if I'm good to you, you will hopefully be good to me. And the second principle is from the Bible as well, that Paul says, as much as it lieth in you, live peaceably among all men. Honestly, if you're some person who youth, this goes to the viewer, the youth viewer. You blast music that even the windows shake, and your neighbors are like, "Uyo kijana wenu anatupigia makelele." Yes. If you are the person who blasts music, honestly, how will you expect society to treat you?
Yes,
well, exactly. Or if you're the kind of person you know, as youth, we have children, maybe in our neighborhood. If you're the kind of person who doesn't even, you know, if you're friendly to my children, I will love you. If you come and you, sasa, shule ikoaje, you know, I'm imparting positive influence. But if I'm the kind of person who looks suspicious, nakujaga hapo na nimesag jeans, na masnap, alafu nakuja hapo na watu uwe unaangalia na, you know, unadu. You know, if I bully your children and your children come and tell me, Sama anakujanga anatuchokoza, and you're a youth, the parents expect you to be responsible, to set an example to the youth. So that is the second point. Now finally, I will do my final point in form of a story.
Okay.
There was a young man once. He was on a train, and you know when someone steps on you, like today by the morning someone stepped on me, but I just swallowed. I just swallowed, took my wet wipes and wiped my feet because I had worn sandals. So anyway, back to the story. This old man stepped on this young boy's, young man's feet. If you step on my feet and I tell you, I'm really sorry, pole, you will obviously say, and so this man said, unanikanyanga, wajua hizi viatu. Do you know how much? You know, he started really giving them old man a hard time. And there's a way you can just fold your face and you show your agitation. You show that, I really hate you. You know, nini, we mzee una haya, we mzee sijui nini. Yeah. So this old man just kept quiet. But this man really, yes,
how hungry he was.
And he thought that it's just the train. I will not meet this man again. So the man went. He was going somewhere. So as he went, he was with a group. They alighted. After they had alighted, they went now to where this guy was going. The old man also alighted and went his way. So when they got where they were going, let me just put it out there that this man was walking with his family. They were going, kwa Kikale we call it Gawaita, this dowry. They were going for negotiations for the girl. So when they got there, they have been welcomed really well. They've sat and they're really having a nice conversation. So it gets to the point, they say, mzee ayuko, ametoka kidogo, but atafika. So this man is so relaxed, so comfortable. They're laughing. So mzee kufika.
The same old man.
The same old guy that he had. So this young man was like, what? You know? So the old man came and was like, mumefika.
Wow.
And this old man told the girl, njoo hapa. Huyu mtu, this boy actually knelt down and said, forgive me, I'm really sorry, I didn't know it was you, But this old man said, if you could not forgive me for stepping on your foot, will you forgive my daughter for something graver? I cannot trust my daughter with someone who is not willing to. So what am I trying to say? That's just cutting the long story short. What I'm trying to say is, you never know if someone, in young people, we're looking for jobs, you're looking for spouses, we're looking for one thing or another. You never know that if this person who lives next to me, niliongea vibaya, you never know where you will meet this person.
Thank you very much.
I like that.
Sometimes we as youth have, let me call it a default setting, that we blame the society at our downfalls. I'm meant to ask this. Does the society give us enough room to exercise our full potential? Kuna watu wengi, you can agree with me. Someone, kama si, what do you think we do?
Yeah, I think the society plays a major role in our lives because, like, we have different perspective. Like, in order for you to be successful in your career, there are people who've already made it, and they are in our society. Because the family setup, maybe someone in your family has it, but the society is what builds you. So they really contribute so much to how you grow. And how the way you grow, it's because of the way she said, how you treat a person. But the one thing that us youth do wrong, some people say, kama ningepata ile milioni. You're just thinking of that milioni, but you don't know how to get it, you know. And this comes with networks. What is networks? Relationship between you and people. And how you relate with people is what is going to give you, for example, if it's business, you get business because you've related with one person this way, and then he will refer you to another person because you've done a good work, and he will refer to the other one. So they play a major role in building us. Yes.
I want us to move swiftly,
Yeah.
and I think most of us youths tuko na shida moja. There's this old adage inasema time yako si time yangu. You get it? Where we get to say our parents are of this generation and we are of the, let's say, microwave generation. So we tend to use that in our defense in like, is it like for a young mwenye ametoka high school nasema I need WhatsApp, I need IG. As in, there are some things that we just blame them in our generation, and instead of using them to good, we use it actually to our own downfall now. That's what I want to bring in, and please help me understand how can we bring this generational difference, and not to create more harm in terms of how we relate to the family and society, but to create more good.
Well, number one, I have to say that we need to acknowledge that we are all in a global family. Whether there are people who are 100 or so years older than ourselves, people who are younger than that, the same thing that we are going through right now are the same thing that our parents went to in one way or another. If we are having issues concerning peer pressure, if we are having issues concerning changes in our body and how we are to interact with the opposite sex, we find that even our parents face the same thing. Probably the only difference is that we are more technological. You find that with the life that we're living, we'll have WhatsApp, we'll have all sort of things. But even in the time, they also had their own social media now. They had pen pals and things like those.
Messages that take 3
Mail.
months.
And they had mail. So, and they had telephone. So you find that these people have the same experience, and you come to realize that once you acknowledge that these people have a similar experience to yourself, you can,
in spite of the
generational difference, you will actually approach these people, be able to like advise you, and you'll be able to see that you're actually just in the same boat. You are headed to the same place. We should not go and separate ourselves and say that this is our group, that is their group. That will only bring in the issues concerning suspicion. That will only bring in issues concerning division. And at the end, we're supposed to be people who are coming together and people who are uniting.
My director is quickly telling me to rush through, but I will not. Must please, we will not finish this discussion before making a statement on how we relate to authority. Please take us through.
Well, authority is quite, authority can be in form of parents. Authority can be in form of, if those of you who are in school, your lecturers. Authority might be in form of maybe the policemen. Authority might be in form of the government or the laws, the jurisdiction of the country. So authority, the pastor and the elders in church. So authority is a bit broad. Now, it all boils down to 10 years from now when you'll be in that position. Will you want people to treat you like you're treating them right now? Now, in terms of maybe the elders, would you want... personally, I like people who say hi. I like saying hi to people. I like saying hi to my lecturers. I like saying hi to my boss. People have this reserved attitude that, I can't take that step. Sifai kuongelesha authority. I'm a police. Just smile at them. It hurt a heart. Because once you have this mentality that authority is on that side and me I'm on this side, we'll never be able to bridge that gap. But as young people, our relationship will be our initiative, our step. We won't wait for someone in authority now to start looking for youths to say hi to. It's up to me as a young person because I respect them. Long ago, young people used to stop on the road and greet them. In fact, in Uganda, you actually kneel down in front of an elder to say hi to them. So it's up to you to say hello to people. Say hi to people, and that's how you start a conversation. The next time, inquire about like their family, their work. So that's relationships with authority.
Back then, ukiuliza mtu mzima unaitwa nani, ilikuwa na kind insulting. Please, Eston, in less than 30 seconds. What is your sentiment according on the same line?
For authority, something that we need to consider so much is how we interact with these people and how we are supposed to be respectful of these people. Just as much as mentioned, you know, most of the time we look at authority in terms of these people who are above us, and we should also consider those people who are below us, because we are also an authority to those people. So respect others as you wish them to respect you.
Amen. Purity.
The last thing is authority. If someone is in authority, they love to be listened because they've made it their head of you. Even if maybe I'm 20 and I'm leading a person who is 50. You get, there are CEOs who are 20, 23, and they're leading, they have employed other people. But it all comes with respect and also listening. Most people, like as youth, we like talking too much instead of listening to the people who've made it. And actually, if you interact with the rich people, they love to be listened. Because if you listen more, you will be able to grasp a lot and conceptualize. But if you go and show them, I know this, that's a challenge. You can't come and challenge me and I've already made it. You have to be humble enough to listen so that you grow. Yes.
Thank you very much for being with us for the past 50 minutes that you've been with us. Thank you. And I would like to thank you, Beauty, for making time for us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Weston. Thank you, Mercy. Hopefully we will not miss you again. Thank you very much for being with us. Now, interact with us through our social media platforms. On Facebook at Hope Channel Kenya. On Twitter at Hope_Kenya. You can also get to me on Twitter at Sammy Mangi, and on Facebook, Samuel Mangi. You can also get to Mercy on Facebook at
Mercy Cherono To. On Twitter, I'm also on Twitter. You can follow me at MC To Cherono. Even Instagram, I have an Instagram account, yes, on Instagram. But above all, follow us on Hope Channel. That is on Facebook at Hope Channel Kenya, and on Twitter at Hope _Kenya.
Yes.
Yeah, we look forward to hearing from you. So until next time.
Bye-bye.